And we're back at the Outboard Dad channel, here to help you have a better boating experience. It's like lower unit season or something. I keep getting lower units that people want rebuilt. I think the biggest challenge is this is another Evinrude 20-inch shaft unit. Harder and harder to find now, especially used that are in good condition. If you remember, I had a video of a guy that got a free boat, my buddy Zach. And he took it out and he ran it a few times. He kept checking his lower unit oil and it kept getting more and more water in it. So he's like, look, we got to do it. And also the engine wasn't really running that smoothly, and I said that might be because you had a couple of low cylinders, if you remember when we did our compression check. Keep that in mind, because my used outboard motor buying guide is what you need. Now Zach got that boat for free, so he's not looking for anything coming back from it. So if you're getting something for free, okay, you could see how that would work out. But if you're buying a boat with an outboard motor or an outboard motor for your boat, this is a great grab and go simple guide. It doesn't go into great detail. It's just the high points of the top things that I've found over the years that you need to check to make sure that you have the best chance. You never know with used, right? You could run it 1, 2, 3 times and have a problem. It is used. There's no warranties with used. So this helps you get the best chance of having a good motor that you can run for years to come. So please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have, and keep in mind, if you send me an email at keith@outboarddad.com with proof of purchase of my book on Amazon, it's $20. I'm still offering a free half-hour session over the phone to help you with a motor you're working on or a boat or a motor you're looking to purchase if you send me that. It's a $250 value, so get it while supplies last. That doesn't sound right. Get it now. Get it now, because I have the time. As things grow and I'm doing more things, more to come, you'll see. And it will get busier and busier for me, and I won't be able to keep that. So let's get you guys out there, get you running, and enjoy this book and the next one that's going to be coming soon. So Zach's lower unit, let's just take the plugs out of it and see what happens. I'll get my little drain cup over here and catch what kind of nasties or water or whatever comes out of it. Zach also gave me, he purchased a couple of oil plugs because he doesn't like the screwdriver slot, so he got some Allen key ones. Now, what he doesn't know is that if I order a whole seal kit for this, because we're going to pressure test this and see if we can pinpoint where the leak is and maybe save him some money. It's up to him. It's his motor. It's his lower unit. So what we'll do is let's get that lower plug out. Let's drain what's in here out, and then we're going to get our pressure test on there. So looking at this plug right now, I'm going to show you this. I'm concerned maybe there's 2 washers on this, or maybe it's buggered up in there. Let me show you. So as I'm looking at this, I can see here that it's not recessed all the way. If you look at the top one, you see how it's recessed in all the way, right? But this one is sticking out a little bit. Does it have 2 seals, 2 of those fiber washers, or are the threads buggered up? Let's take it out and see what it looks like. Yeah, we got water and milkiness. I see 1 washer on there. Wondering if there's another one inside here. I don't know what's in there, but let's take the top vent out and let's get this draining. So it looks like Milkshake City in here. So we'll continue to drain this out the rest of the way, and then we'll get our pressure tester out. Meanwhile, I'm going to take the water pump off because I want to be able to put some bubbles around that seal and around the prop shaft seal. So we'll get that off while we're draining. Not a whole lot coming out of that, so I have a feeling it ended up in the lake, which is not good. We don't want oil in our water streams. Always check our water pumps. We always check to make sure. Let me get my flashlight. We want to make sure these aren't melted, and this looks in really good condition. It looks like the gasket got a little pinched in here. We'll definitely put a little weather stripping adhesive to hold it in place a little better next time, but not bad. O-ring stayed on top, right? So we'll definitely, I like to put a little weather stripping adhesive to hold it in place on the housing, but this is not all scored up or anything, and the water pump looks great. Looks like it was replaced not too long ago. So I'm just gonna put this all together. And it looks like somebody did put a little bit of silicone in there or something to hold it, so it just came off at the same time. And they look to be in good condition, so I'm going to get this impeller off. I do see a little rustageness there, but nothing major. Give it a little penetrating oil. Let's see if we can get this water pump off. We'll definitely grease that up really good. But water pump looks to be in good condition. No meltedness. Put that aside. And we'll get our plate off of here. There is an O-ring on here, which is good, so that was done properly. Now we know we'll get a new gasket if we get a seal kit, but this looks good as well. And it's very clean in here. As I was pulling this out, you know, there's a shift shaft bolt that has to come out that's really tough to get to. You need like a swivel socket and you know, maybe a visual swivel socket, like you need to see at a crazy angle to get in there and get that sucker out of there. I'll try and show you that when we put it back together, but it's in such a tight spot I don't know if I can get a good camera angle in there, but I'll do my best. But take a look at this bearing carrier. I'm going to compare it to the 70 horse motor that was a fresh motor too, so you can see the difference. So as you can see, look at that. Very clean inside this motor. And look at the comparison. This was a 70 horse freshwater, and look at the corrosion. And this one, really, really well maintained, and probably just saw freshwater its whole life. So as you've seen before, I have my tricks for getting that off of there. I'm just gonna go ahead and wait because I'm not gonna take anything apart yet. I'm gonna slide this little rubber block up here, and I'm gonna be putting my bubbles on this. Well, I guess we'll take it all the way off because it keeps falling off. And let's get our pressure tester in here and see if it holds. Now we know it won't, but let's see where it's leaking specifically. Theoretically, I could put the bottom plug in and then put my pressure tester up here, and I think that's what I'm gonna do because there's still a little milkiness dripping out of there, and I don't want it inside my hose and my gauge and everything. This is a very high-tech setup here, and I don't want to destroy it. This is a pressure bulb I got on Amazon for probably $8, and a gauge that I had kicking around that I put a T on, and the pressure bulb came with this surgical tubing, which is very flexible, so that we can put it on here and get a good pressure test. So I'm going to go ahead and put that lower plug back in. Maybe it's just leaking from the plugs, because I don't see any major corrosion around these seals. Now, I didn't look closely at the prop shaft seal. Let's do that, and I'll show it to you if I see something funky. Just regular exhaust, doesn't seem anything out of the ordinary. So let's put the plug in the bottom, but let's clean it up a little bit first, because you remember I was concerned that maybe it had a second seal on it, possibly. So let's clean it with a little brake cleaner. No, it doesn't have a second seal. So I'm going to go ahead and take the top one and put it in there because it's a little cleaner. Maybe that's just the way it sits. I don't ever remember seeing one sitting out that far. It looks like that's the way it sits because it feels to be okay. So let's pressure pump this up. I'm going to get some spray bubbles. Just use some of this very sophisticated leak check bubble checker because I don't know where my spray bubbles can is right now. So let's pump this up and see. We'll probably see or hear. If this holds, I'm going to be silly. Okay, I hear it pss, 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 leaking from my shift shaft seal. I don't see anything leaking. holding 10 pounds here, what, like 2-3 minutes. I think the only answer would be to reseal everything, start from scratch. So we're going to have to pull this apart the rest of the way. We're going to have to, what I can do is I can switch my plug top to bottom. Let's do that as a test to make sure that the top gasket wasn't the only thing leaking. I would hate to give it back to him and say, the only thing leaked was this, and have him still have problems with it. Because, when you're out on the water, all the pressure on this gearbox, it's obviously overcoming some kind of seal. Very interesting. Typically, it's noticeable right away, as you've probably seen in my other videos. But let's flip this over. We'll take this out. All right, let's try it again. All right, 10 pounds. I'm actually a hair over 10 pounds. I am getting some very small bubbles out of my shift shaft seal. But I wouldn't feel comfortable just doing the shift shaft seal. Sometimes you pull these apart and you look at the shaft, and the shaft has pitting in it. You remember there's a couple shafts I wasn't able to use for some other lower units. But this is fresh water. There's no corrosion on this. Unless it's just really wear where those seals are. Well, no choice. We're going to have to pull it apart. I know he said it shifted and everything fine, so what we'll do is we'll order a seal kit for this, and we'll pull this apart because I don't have anything obvious jumping out at me. I actually have 11 pounds in there, and it's holding. And I left a little oil around this to see if it would do anything, and it's not leaking. So we'll have to continue on this. We're going to have to disassemble this now, and inspect everything first before I go ahead and order any kits. Plus, we'll look at the gears and everything, make sure everything's okay before we jump off any bridges. So please like, subscribe, send any comments that you have, and we'll continue on in the next episode. Have a great day.